Gorn 2 is available for MetaQuest headsets now. It's the sequel to the hugely popular, incredibly violent Gorn. But what does it do different? What does it do that's better than the original? Stick around and you'll find out. Gorn 2 adds an extra layer of all the essentials that you would expect from a sequel. More weapons, more enemy types, more arenas, more traps and power-ups, and more. Everything that you would typically expect. What it does however, that's actually more impressive, is the way in which it layers on the different engagements in combat. We're going to start by talking about the extras that you get, those statistics. So the game has 35 different weapons, some of which are quite varied, some of which are similar to what you'll have experienced in the original Gorn. There's a whole host of new arenas with different environmental hazards, which, if you're a smart player, you can make sure the enemy is more engaging with those traps than you are. There's also a bunch of different power-ups that give you things like mega hands, allowing you to wield two-handed weapons with one hand, or just giving you power-ups to restore your health and so on. There's also a story element to the game, which sees you fighting through 5 different children, children of the gods, whichever way you want to say it. And while this is nice, it's a good addition, you're really just here for the combat, right? For the violence, for the bloodshed, for the adrenaline rush that you get from taking down hordes of enemies. And this is where Gorn 2 shines over the original. The combat in the original was pretty good, right? If you played it, you probably enjoyed it. But in Gorn 2, the accuracy of your blows is significantly improved, and you'll often find that because there's more enemy types, the tactics in which you have to use in order to take advantage are much more varied. What's more, you can have more enemy models on screen at any one time. This, after playing for even just a short amount of time, can lead to some pretty chaotic battles when there's traps around the arenas and 4 or 5 enemies coming at you all at once, all with different weapons, all different sizes, and all with different tactics. You have to keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you're looking around the arena to know who's coming at you from which direction and with which weapons in order to balance your tactics. It makes for a much more intense game than the original. The original was fun, and it is still worth picking up to this day. But Gorn 2 takes everything that we've learned and that we love about the original Gorn and increases it significantly. Increases the intensity, increases the immersion, increases the adrenaline rush of a successful battle. Playing through the aforementioned story mode, which is the main gameplay mode in the game, will unlock new weapons and arenas for use in the supplementary modes, of which there are 2. There's the customizable matches, which allow you to set varying rules and different weapon types and so on, and allow you to engage in a one-off bout of combat however you wish. And this is fun. This is always going to be fun. You can set a 5-10 minute game, come on in, smash around a few heads, and you've had your fun. Great stuff. But in addition, there's the Endless mode. Now this is a gameplay mode in which, as the name suggests, you are in an arena with endless waves of enemies coming towards you, and the idea here is to survive. Now, the difficulty curve in this mode is slow to begin with, but it does creep up pretty rapidly. Honestly, this is great when you're first starting the game, but after you've got a bit more experience, you'll find the first waves can be pretty boring and pretty slow. So the custom mode is probably a better option for you once you've got some experience at the game. But Endless mode, strangely, is only available once you've completed the main story mode. We think it's a bit of a weird connection. Endless mode surely would be better to unlock after a small amount of progress, and custom games unlocked once you've finished the story mode. But the developers have seen fit to do it the other way around, so maybe there's a reason to their madness. The original Gorn wasn't exactly an ugly looking game, it was perfectly capable for its time, but Gorn 2 is significantly improved in all areas, and just like the combat, it's improved in such a way that you probably won't realise it until you play Gorn 2, then go back and play the original after. The animation in particular has seen a significant upgrade. While it's still very slapstick, of course, the way the enemies move around the arena is much more entertaining than it was in the original. Furthermore, all the weapons kind of behave like rubber. It's like you're slapping enemies with rubber chickens a lot of the time. Or at least that's what the visual style is. The impact you feel, the clout of actually hitting your enemies successfully with a big hit, with a hammer or a mace or something similar, it's tangible. You do feel that impact. You feel like you are landing blows precisely how you wish to land them. Of course, it's not perfect. There are some times where you'll swing and you feel like the blow didn't land with the force that you intended it, or even on the location that you expected it to land. But this happens a lot with motion control games, especially in VR. And in Gorn 2, it is more reliable, it is better implemented than most games. So Gorn 2 is a significant improvement on the original in terms of all the statistics, in terms of the numbers, in terms of the animation, in terms of the enemy varieties, in terms of the customizability of your custom matches, in terms of the arena layouts. In every single way you can imagine, Gorn 2 does improve over the original, and that is great. Is it a significant enough improvement to purchase Gorn 2 if you weren't that huge a fan of Gorn? Probably not. But in my experience, the people who weren't a fan of Gorn is a very small percentage of the people who played it. In which case, if you were a fan of Gorn, Gorn 2 just gives you more. So what's not to love there? Gorn 2 is available for MetaQuest headsets now. It's a game of intense, slapstick, gory violence. So if that's your bag, we highly recommend you go and download this one right now.